Hi guys, welcome to this new series where we'll be creating this professional looking recoil system. Let me just show you guys a demo of it. So it's just tapping, then spraying, and it has a recoil recovery too, and as you guys can see it's pretty smooth. So if you guys want to learn how to make this step by step inside of C++ with just 2 blueprint nodes, so it won't impact performance too. So stay with me guys, we'll be creating this and I'll be explaining everything step by step how we do it. Of course this is in Unreal Engine 4, but I will be showing you guys how to do it in Unreal Engine 5 since the code will remain the same. Okay guys, first things first, please do not get intimidated. Although this will be done in C++, I promise I will explain you guys as well as possible. And guys, if you still do not understand anything, or if you want any modifications to the system, or you have any questions regarding it, please feel free to post them on my Discord server, whose link will be down in the video description. In this video I'll just be going over how the recoil system actually works, and then from the next video we'll directly head into the coding part, and we'll see how to get the weapon spawned and stuff briefly. I'll just be asking you guys to copy over that, but the main point of the series is the recoil system. I'm not sure if we'll have 2 or 3 or 4 parts, but we'll see. So for now I'll just be explaining you guys how it works. So when you click on your left mouse button, basically what we'll do is we'll call a native function which we'll create. We'll just use a u function specifier to expose that to blueprints and make it as a blueprint function. So we'll be calling this start recoil. You could name it whatever you want. So most of the functionality will be there inside the start recoil. So this thing is actually divided into multiple segments. So one is the tick, and after the tick the other thing is the timer function, and then you have the curve. So these are the 3 concepts on which it will be working on, and the reason tick is there is not actually to perform any great calculation. We'll just be updating the control rotation on tick. We won't actually be running any heavy functions. So that's the reason I would have told some of you guys that I'm not using tick. Technically you have to, because you are updating everything every frame, so there is actually no other way to do it. By doing it on a timer though, it'll actually get things out of sync and it'll look kinda choppy, so we are doing it on tick, but it'll still perform pretty good. Now inside the timer function, what this basically does is we'll be having a timer handle. So from this timer handle, what we'll be doing is we'll actually be retrieving the value on this curve. So what I basically mean is, let's say we have this curve over here, just as an example. So this is going to be a vector curve. So it means you'll be having both x, y, and as well as z, but we'll be using only the y and z, by the way. So it's going to be your y axis, and this is going to be your x axis, and for the vector values you'll be having a curve for the x, a curve for the y, and curve for the z. This is just an example. Of course if you want horizontal recoil, some of these values will go down the y axis, so the y value of it will be negative. So basically what this will do is, on tick we are going to get this timer handle, and from this we'll get the time elapsed. So if you guys don't know, in this curve the x-axis represents the time. So what basically we'll be doing is we'll be taking the y value of this curve. So let's say the tick event runs when the time is at this point. So what this will basically do is it will basically get the x, y as well as z values. So it will be these 3 values right here. So for the z it will be somewhere here. So z, y, x. So what it's going to do is it's going to return us an f vector. So what we'll do is we will get the value of this at this time. So at this time we will get the y value of this curve, not the y value, I mean the y axis value. So when we do that, we are going to get an f vector and I'll get to what that is. That's just basically your normal vector variable with x, y and z. So you're going to get x, y as well as z. So then what we will do is, at the start here in the start recoil function, before we actually start the timer, we'll actually be storing the control rotation of the player, and then once we have that, any time the player actually moves his mouse, we'll also be adding that to another variable. So what that will allow us to do is find out how much the player himself moved the mouse, so that we can add the recoil on top of that. So once we have this vector value, so we are going to be converting this to a rotator, because the control rotation function will be taking in a rotator. So that rotator will be the additive of the control rotation, and we'll be using that to create the recoil system which I just showed you. And the gun animation, guys, that was created inside of Unreal Engine. I didn't really create it in Blender or anything. And now coming to the timer. So as I told you guys, the timer will just keep track of the time. So as soon as the player stops firing, so stop firing, what we will do is we will first of all clear this timer, and we are going to have one more timer called the recovery timer. Recovery timer. So what the recovery timer will do is it will keep track of the recoil recovery. We don't want the recovery to go too long, so we'll set the timer to, let's say, 1 second. You could have it as a variable too, that's completely up to you. And what this will do is, again on tick, it's going to update the control rotation. So we'll be using a function called rinterp2. So when we use rinterp2, so we will be interpolating to the starting location, start control rotation, plus the rotation made by the player, that is by dragging his mouse. So that's pretty much how the system works, guys. I will be going over each part in depth while writing the actual code. So initially I was actually thinking of just putting it on the marketplace and make some cash out of it, but at the end of the day, that's what separates, the big companies who pretty much just monetize everything and don't really want to develop better games. So there needs to be something that separates us, right? So I thought it would be helpful if I could make a tutorial series out of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.